Should we get to the great and exciting news that is the Toronto Maple Leafs?
Oh, no. We could have just done Alan.
Do we want to do something else, or do we want to get into it?
How you doing?
Hi, Steve.
Good to see you, bud.
We didn't plan this, by the way.
What do you mean?
To be here on this day.
Oh, this
Monday, the day after the weekend that will live long in the memory of the memory.
No, they're about to beat the Hurricanes 5-1. Freddie Anderson's going to allow the first 5 shots, and that's how it's going to go.
Is that how it's going to go?
No, I don't know. I really don't.
Kotkaniemi's getting 3 tonight. Kotkaniemi's getting 3. Anderson's stopping 37 of 38 shots.
David Ayers is going to play out.
Fourth line.
Power play. Dave, stand in one spot and bomb it.
bombs from the point.
Just bomb it. Man, the reaction to that game wasn't enough. Like, this is the wild thing. It wasn't enough.
What does that mean?
The conversation on hockey Twitter right now is, why are people overreacting at 6 games in? Guys, Jesus Christ, the Penguins didn't have anybody, and they lost 7-1. Am I taking crazy pills? Have I lost my mind? Dom Decision, who I love. Hey, the Golden Knights are off to a bad start. 2, and it's even worse than why is no one freaking out about the the Vegas Golden Knights? The 3rd round in 3 of 4 years versus the Leafs. I've lost my mind. Why are you all looking at me silently? This is I'm about to get backed into a corner and taken out of here on a gurney. Are you really? A team with the first liner, Evan Rodriguez, beat the Leafs 7-1. Why am I the only one panicking? Nothing's wrong with me. I'm perfectly fine. What the fuck is wrong with you?
If it makes you feel any better, I think that Pittsburgh team Saturday could win the Calder Cup. I think they have the wherewithal to one day provide you a top 4 defenseman, maybe.
Sid with a classic flip-flop. The Calder Cup means everything.
They have a strong base. What's with that impression of me? That bullshit impression.
The Calder Cup is unattainable.
Hey, Jesse, thank you.
It's not great.
I think it's wonderful.
That's a terrible impression.
Okay, so you have to understand, it was very strange for me, this story. So now I get to tell this story to you, because it meant a lot to me. So I was walking around Rogers that day. Well, I wasn't even on with you. It was some other day.
You were coming to see me by my desk.
I was coming to see you by your desk. And
you know, the one time a year Steve comes into the office, right?
And
That's true. It's true.
And well, it's less now. And Jesse goes, "Oh, hey, Sid, tell Steve your thing." And you're sitting with your back to me, and my childhood turns around essentially and goes, looks me dead in my eyes. Here, Jesse, that camera right there. The Calder Cup means nothing. And not prepared for this argument that I'm supposed to be in the middle of. I was like, yes, it does.
I don't remember this.
Why doesn't it? You don't?
No.
I remember it like I'm still in the room.
Yeah.
The Calder Cup means nothing. And I was just like, what? Why? I was there. I had fun. Mason Marchment with 2 goals in Game 7? Fuck yeah. Like, you remember it like it was yesterday, right? Cherished memories. Remember the 4th line of Trevor Moore, Adam Brooks, and Mason Marchment? Oh,
that shot of Dubas lifting, I found out in that moment was the Calder Cup.
It was like Metallica in the building that night. Say your prayers with the word.
He raised it.
He shook it.
He raised it like with a force of 1,000 suns.
Yeah.
And it got you just in home. And who else from that team? You went through this.
Andreas Johnson, who is now Joey Anderson.
Was Kapanen not there too? He was on that team, wasn't he?
No.
He wasn't?
Not 2018.
Sure?
No.
Not 2018.
No, he was a full-time
Who are the
lead.
goalies?
Garrett Sparks and Calvin Pickard,
Okay.
who were easily the best tandem in the league that year.
You've got to be kidding me.
Dude, leaps and bounds the best tandem in the league that year.
Sorry, I don't want to defer the conversation and move it to
No, I think
Calder
this
Cup.
is a good story.
This conversation means everything.
I knew I knew that we would go here, and I'm going to just jump in and say I think it's going to be okay. But I want to hear your thoughts first, because both of you are far more entertaining. And I think there's going to be a portion of Leaf fans who's like, oh, it's no big deal, don't think about it. And then there's a portion like what you guys are feeling right now. And I think the answer is somewhere in the middle. But
but the panicking side's more right.
Okay.
Somewhere in the middle,
So
leaning towards panic.
we had a video from you that has well over, is it 200,000 views now?
Oh, I wish. 140.
140.
You hit notes in this video. Mariah Carey couldn't hit these notes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. And within the first 40 seconds, you gave him the goods right from Jump Street.
I can't sing, but if I'm screaming, I can do that. I can be brown. I can be blue. I can be violet. Yeah.
The thing about that, too, is that he did that after doing a stream for 3 hours. And you know what it's like to talk for 2 or 3 hours. It's strangely exhausting.
Yeah, it drains every orifice in your body. Yet you still found the strength to have another go.
Oh, just sweating bullets. Like I'm losing weight now that the hockey season started.
You do look great, actually.
Take that, everyone calling me fat. I'm a little less fat than I was last week. I'm going to have chocolate to piss you off as a reward. Oh, wait, I understand why I'm fat.
The other thing is, so we heard what Steve thought, and then there was a little bit of backlash online about that, and we can talk about that. But Sid, I want to know, you're sitting at home watching this, and you've seen all the games this season, except for the one that coincided with the Canada-Panama game, I think it was. Alphonso Davies with that goal. But what have your takeaways been, and how did you feel watching Saturday night?
I mean, they don't play for each other.
No.
It's fucking crazy how they don't care about each other out there. Like it was, what was it? 6-1-7-1 third period. There was a kerfuffle.
Yeah, Wayne Simmons came in and hacked.
I thought Wayne Simmons was going to put a guy in the third row. Because every hockey team I've ever seen, when you're getting skunked like that, at some point, the pride switch goes and say, at the minimum, I am going to show this guy that I am physically stronger than him. It may not reflect it on the scoreboard, but something's going to happen here for the next 30 seconds that will make me feel better.
Right.
Maybe not Sheldon Keefe, maybe not Kyle. This one's for me. This one's for, I've been in this league before. Man, I've been in some bad spots. I need to take something out on somebody. And not just Wayne, but anybody. It could have been anybody. Nothing. It was nothing. This team is emotionless. And when it gets difficult, and this is the part where Steve is well within his rights, and you went down the road in the LFR, don't talk about Game 6. I don't want to hear it. You didn't want to hear it. And you're right.
I know.
This is not Game 6.
No.
This is Game whatever it is.
600?
250 at
of
least.
the same emotionless garbage over and over again. Now, and going back and thinking about Babcock, here's what really concerns me if I'm a Leaf fan. So you're screaming for Marner to play with Matthews. You're screaming for Matthews to get more time. You're screaming for all this stuff. Change the way you're doing it. Let's get a bumper. Let's make Marner a bumper on the power play. That'll fix everything.
I love that
Let's
term.
get a bumper.
I love bumper.
I don't even understand
What
what
the
that
hell
means,
is
to be
that?
honest.
Like
Bumper.
you're bowling and they put up the bumper.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, basically.
He's the bumper.
Yeah. And it doesn't work. Not every team can pull off the bumper thing.
Kadri was really good at the bumper.
He was the bumper. Yeah, when he was playing.
I liked it.
When he was playing games. When he wasn't treating human beings like a bumper.
Well, we got a show title.
There you go.
Yeah. I love when early on in the show I'm like, yes, don't have to work anymore.
Mark it
Okay.
down. Bumper. It's the same thing. Mm-hmm. So I'm going through the cap today just briefly.
Oh,
So
how'd you do that?
How do you fix it? Shut up. Cap. You know what? This website called Cap Friendly.
I've heard of it.
They're so good.
They are good.
I did not find a team with a player making over 13% of the cap on it, except for the Leafs, who have 3. Really? Am I wrong in that? Is there another
McDavid.
player?
McDavid.
McDavid's making a shade below 13.
And probably Panarin.
Yeah,
Might
Panarin's
be-
at 10.
There's
yeah,
a
he's
Double
at 10
check
line.
me on Panarin.
It's a list of like 10 players in the league, and the Leafs have 3 of them.
The Leafs have 3 of them.
Yeah. Doughty, Carlson. Yeah.
So you can't, like, unless you find the perfect $1 million player or $2 million player, how do you fix it?
Well, and the exhausting thing for the management group and the scouting staff and everybody is it's not just finding the perfect $1 million player, it's doing it every single year.
Yeah.
And some years are going to fuck up.
Well, because it's supposed to be a gamble.
Yes.
Right? That part is, and listen, it's great that Michael Bunting's seen some early success, but as you've seen with Nick Ritchie,
He's on the fourth line now.
right, and it doesn't mean that it won't work out. It just means that it's one of those things where there's a reason he's $1 million player, not a $5 million player. Right?
2.5.
And so, you know, and let me say this, because I do want to speak for the crowd a little bit here that that thinks that eventually this all will come out in the wash. We got Mitch Marner.
There's 76 games left. Like,
Yeah. I think, but I think you're 100% within your rights to be concerned about the way they've started here. But as we talked about with the salaries and with the skill level on this team, the Leafs go as Marner and Matthews go. Now, we found out this morning that they've been split up at practice. So it's going to be, they're bringing Matthews, Nylander back, and I think Bunting's going to play with them.
Yeah.
And then it's at Kerfoot, Tavares, Marner. Tavares, Marner was spectacular together.
Yes, and it gives Kerfoot, who makes too much money for the third line on this team, it gives him purpose.
Yes.
And
Yes,
he was
it
good
does.
with Tavares.
I think what I will say here is that how long do we really think Mitch Marner's on, I think, 13 games. He's had 1 goal in those last 13 games, includes playoffs and regular season. How long do we think that's really going to last? How long do we think it's going to take Austin Matthews, who has looked really good in spurts? Like, as a player, he's still good. He may not be scoring, but he's still looking good to me. Nobody looked good on Saturday. But how long? Yes, Spezza looked good. How long is it going to be before he starts to light it up? Remember, this is a guy in 51 games had 40 goals last year.
Well, and the beautiful thing about, like, people are acting like there's a right answer to Matthews and Marner because we screamed for it for a long time, or Matthews, Nylander. Well, the beauty is you can flip-flop. You can interchange them. You can mix it up. You could play a game on a Friday and have Marner. You can play a game on a Saturday and have Nylander. But never. They never just swap back and forth. Why not? Why not?
Well, I think they've had to now. And I was reading James Myrtle's column in The Athletic today, and he's saying, listen, if the next 3 games are great, then this article doesn't matter. But if the next 3 games are like the last 3 games, then we're looking potentially at a big move here. And we're not talking about firing the coach.
What is he talking about?
Well, he's talking about, he said, no matter how prolonged this mess gets, I don't think you fire the coach. It'll finally become time to trade someone significant. And he said, I know some will argue that that's overdue, and they'll be right if the Leafs continue to struggle. If you don't make a move, you risk frittering the season away and doubling or tripling down on a bet that has yet to pay off. He said, to me, those are the stakes, even this early. Who says the regular season doesn't mean anything this year in Toronto? And I think, to your point, guys, I know everybody's like, well, it's the beginning of the season. It's the beginning of the season. This core has been together with Tavares for 4 years. So, I mean, those are frankly, if we're going to pay those 4 players to be the best players, Nylander, who's looked the best out of all of them to me, they have to perform. They have to win with those guys. And I think, and that's obvious, but something about this, I'm not run for the hills panicking here, but something about the team, to me, and I want to get everybody's opinion on this, feels stale. There's something about it. Do you know what I mean? When you're in a work, you can't quite place your finger on it, but you're on a show. Like, for me, this is the only thing I can relate it to. I'm on a show and my co-host isn't as engaged anymore. I've had that. I'm on I'm in a not
Sorry,
you.
can you make that
not
point?
you. I'm in a group where
really good
you're in a
tweet.
group project, and for whatever reason, there's a couple of people that just are not rowing with the same intensity as you. They may be rowing in the same direction, but do you know what I'm saying? Am I wrong? Am I crazy?
I don't think they like it right now.
Well, I
Like
would
showing up, like literally showing up. I think.
But the narrative in the offseason was that they fixed that they all went up to Tavares' cottage,
They got
that
mad.
they don't
yeah.
think about the playoffs
the new
anymore.
Muskoka 6 or whatever it was, they all
Yeah.
went up there and they all had a good time with some s'mores.
Who
figured out the bumper?
And there's
Bumper,
Came back down,
Well, they
and
haven't
just-
figured out the bumper.
And we're
no.
going to take it to Boston and Tampa.
and they come out
Just
this
take
year,
it to 'em.
and it's just more of the same, and nothing's really changed.
But whomst among us has not said they're okay when they're very not okay? I think that's what the Leafs did.
But Dubas basically had a quote this offseason that told you he's okay because he has to be, but he's not okay. The for better or worse quote.
Yeah.
That is the most colorful Dubas has ever sounded running this team. That was him getting one step closer to, oh, this is bad. Don't quite trust what's going on here. Maybe I shouldn't have spent the money where I spent it.
Here's why I feel bad for him. and the position that the Leafs are in now. What did I say after the trade deadline? Even though you guys weren't huge fans of the Foligno deal, I was like, "There's no reason for this team to lose in the first round. There's none." And then they get Montreal. There's no reason for this team to lose. They're up 3-1. There's no reason for this team to lose. None. They won Game 4 4-0. And even after Game 5, Montreal plays their best game of the series, still blows a 3-goal lead. There's no reason to lose this series. What do you do differently if you're Kyle Dubas? I assembled the best team. They showed us they were the best team at minimum in this division. That's 2 rounds. 2 rounds right there. Everyone's off my back. I have this job for another 5 years. And they fucking blew it.